7:30, stand for the pledge. Call the meeting to order. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, liberty and justice for all. Been a long night already. Get the where I hid the agenda. Everybody had a chance to review the minutes of the March 11th town board meeting as prepared by the clerk. Any corrections, deletions, additions, requests? Hearing none, these are the clerk's minutes as presented. That brings us to the public comment. Seems we have a few people in the public tonight. Raise your hand and state your name as I point at you.
Brad Bria. I was here, you and I had a conversation about a neighbor problem we had with some problem with property over here. And you asked me to prepare some letters,
Yep.
and some pictures of the problem. So I came here 5 months ago, and I presented those to you. I also gave them to the planning board at the same time. I didn't hear anything for a month or so, so 2 months ago I came in. And just to let you know that I was still alive and well and waiting to hear from somebody, hopefully, either to come in, to have a conversation, get with codes people, rewrite code, add code, change code, whatever. Okay, I was hoping we were going to do something. Well, today is 5 months, and I've been waiting very patiently. And I'm a little disappointed because I haven't, from either board, I haven't got one phone call, one message, one text, nothing. So you guys send me a tax bill, I pay you. I go to the codes guy, I get a permit, I pay him. I volunteer in the city, in this town. My wife volunteers, we donate. I hire local labor. I love this little town, it's a great place. But we need to fix the problem about the trash dumps that we have. Okay, not necessarily just the one I'm here for, but there's others. And I just haven't had any response. It's like Inlet's got a blind eye to my problem. Like, you don't want to try and help me. So I'm not hearing anything, and sort of like, it's disappointing. So I'm wondering how we're going to get this resolved, or how we're going to work forwards to try and fix this problem. Could you tell me that?
I could, and I'll start with at the two meetings you've been to that are on the public record. I believe I had responded that it's not as easy a situation or fix as you would like it to be, and we're going to agree to disagree. Once again, we're probably going to agree to disagree tonight. You live in a commercial zone, and as the zoning is written right now, even though there are the things I suggested for you to do, to take the pictures, to document the stuff, I also came back and said at that point in time, at this point, without updating our zoning town-wide, which I believe I went to the next planning board after I met with you and your wife and asked the town, not the zoning board, planning board, asked them to take a look at it. I asked them to take a look at both the noise issue you had and the unsightly issue. As far as the safety issue, that unfortunately right now falls probably mostly with the health department and DEC, any issues with runoff into the water. I believe those are all matter of public record, and the only resolve I could give you for immediate would be fences make good neighbors. And I believe you probably heard me say that more than once, and you probably aren't happy with me saying that, but unfortunately that's all I have to say until our townwide zoning would be looked at to try and incorporate that. A few years ago, I believe the planning board and the town board took great steps to try and eliminate what we had that could have been called spot zoning. We had pockets of commercial activity or residential vacation homes, and where you are right now wound up being just like the downtown core, commercial zoned. Do I agree with you that I think that, lakeside commercial use should be different than what is probably next to you? I do. It's not within my power to say, I'm going to change it for you tonight.
Mm-hmm. I understand that. So there are set aside new codes. We have gone through the codes department on the catalog online, and we've got several things highlighted here as far as that there are discrepancies and problems with what's there right now, according to the print of Inlet's codes.
Okay.
there are things that are wrong. It says in here, he cannot do. So why can't we get this enforced? I mean, we have a codes guy. I like him. He's a friend of mine. Every time I need a permit, I go see him. And he loves me because I do it the right way. Well, why can't we get the problem enforced? If I do something without a permit, he would have the right to come over and beat me up. Okay? Well, your paper, Inlet's papers, say that this guy can't do what he's doing. Another issue is another building that he's got. Okay? You can condemn that building. I don't see a codes guy over there knocking on the door or going in and looking. Fire hazard, water hazard, frozen pipes, broken stuff. God forbid that thing catches on fire. Half Inlet's gonna go with it. In the room, the two people next to him, the liquor store and the insurance agency, and Jack Ricco might even get a suntan out of the deal. But I'm gonna tell you, that building is horrible. That should be condemned. It should be roped off and make him do something with it. Besides my problem. This is terrible. But I'd like to have the codes enforced what we have. And I told you, the sound wasn't really the major part of the issue.
I know that.
Okay, just to reiterate. Okay?
Yep.
I invited all of you to come over on my porch and have a pina colada or beer or whatever you'd like. And let's sit there for half an hour and have you guys stare at the trash that's next to my house. It's horrible. It's a dump. My transfer station is gorgeous compared to what I live next to. I'd really like to get this fixed. I'm not asking you, even if we just did what Inlet says we should do, it would be great. It's a good start.
Okay.
And maybe we can add a code, change a code. And I'd love to help you with the codes.
I will have another conversation with Mr. Rouse and see if we can get something processed according to what you saw in the papers. Now, that said, you raised a very good point earlier when you said elsewhere around the town. That's the legal situation we have. As soon as he goes to one, he has to go to all. And if we have a list of where he needs to go, or he needs to come up with a list where he needs to go, people better watch out. Then that's going to start happening if we're going to try and, you can't do.
It should.
Right.
It should. Just like
Not a favoritism thing. It's
yeah, no, can't spot assess and you can't spot beat somebody up. If somebody's doing something wrong,
right,
and it's not according to code,
right,
they should be called out on it, cited, fined. If it's a business, I don't know if you have enough clout, if Inlet can actually close the business temporarily till they make it right. I don't know, but it really should be, the code should be enforced, because there's a lot of stuff around this town that is just wrong with the codes, let alone wanting to change more. I'd like to get what we have enforced to start with, and then work from there. And I would love to come in and have a conversation with all of you in a meeting, even with the planning board or whatever. If I can help at all, I'd love to do that.
I agree with you. One of them was even a shoestring family member over on the Uncas Road. So I feel your pain. I feel your pain. All right, I've got to limit the public comment because we've got a bunch of people, but thank you for your comments. All right, next, Mr. Khalil.
Tony Khalil. My brother James, he wrote a letter back in February, sent it to the board. He's here tonight to see what's happening with that letter. We obviously have an issue with our property on the corner. I'd like to see a plan of action because you know as well as I do, time flies. Winter's going to be here next year. We're going to talk about this building again and the snowmobile trail. So I really want to get a plan of action going. Whatever we can do on our end and your end, work together, that'd be great.
I would like to invite you into an executive session later tonight because of the way the letter was submitted. It's almost in the legal realm. Is it possible for you to stay later tonight?
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
What, I saw another hand back there, yes?
Steve Young, as someone who's been at all the meetings where this gentleman has presented his problems, and as someone who drives by there frequently, I think we all agree that it's an eyesore there.
Yes.
I mean, I recall the days when there was an 18-wheeler parked there for most of the summer selling garbage off of it, blocking the sidewalk. Has anybody from the town council gone and actually spoken to this gentleman and said, hey, could you clean it up before we have to take action? Maybe that would get things going.
I believe there have been attempts made. Is that a fair statement, Amy? I don't mean to call you out on that, but attempts have been made. I think it needs to go to the next level.
And when I did talk to them a few years ago, it was cleaned up to a point. I've looked at what's there. Some of it is construction material, which is not garbage. Some of it is
acceptable.
Cleaned up a little, but he's not the only one in town. It's true. There's a few properties that have that same mixture of construction and materials and construction not necessarily debris, but in some cases debris that, and it does. I mean, if we start at one, we have to go right to town.
We should.
Yeah, and I'll use the stables on the corner on the Uncas Road as a whatever. That was my brother-in-law. He passed away. My wife was supposed to be executor. She passed away. None of the other two family members are willing to be the executor. It's in limbo. I had to beg the people that were squatting on the property to get their equipment off the property and get the horses out of there. Now it sits as it is, unfortunately. So that's a completely different situation, but it's one that I've been trying to clean up on my own, and I'm frustrated with that. So I feel the pain all the way around, and I know that's very unsightly. We've got to make moves. We've got to make moves. I saw another hand over here. I'm sorry. I thought I saw another hand in the back. Casey?
Casey Kelly, the good news is I don't have any complaints tonight. The bad news is I'm gonna ask for money, so.
Well, it's your birthday.
Happy birthday! I'd like to make that point of record. He doesn't like a day over
41.
We're representing the American Legion Post 1402 from Inlet Racket Lake, and as we've discussed in the past, the gazebo at Legion Square is in dire need of repair. We've had it evaluated. I actually have a quote here tonight I'd like to share with you from a local contractor. That puts the estimate repairs at $6,675.
I think that's less than you thought it was going to be last fall.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
Post did request a couple grants, but we weren't able to obtain those. We do have a little bit of money, but as you know, we're kind of limited in our financial ability. We would respectfully ask from the town that they provide $5,000 to put towards our project.
Good news is we have a new budget officer.
That was quick. That was.
First day on the job, here we go, right?
Oh, it's 4 months. She's got 4 months under her belt on this. I think to me personally, I think that's a reasonable request. I think that has been one of the most wonderful things that was dropped in front of this town hall in a long time. And I've sat in there with my grandkid and had ice cream. So
It's widely used.
I might have paid too much for the ice cream.
It is widely used.
No, you didn't.
But I don't know what the rest of the board feels. I think we made a soft offer last.
We did last
Fall.
fall.
Anybody remember the soft offer?
$20,000?
Yeah. I want to say it was around 5,000.
We talked 4,000 to 5,000.
5,000 because it was a $10,000 estimate.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
I'd like to make a motion that we support this for the $5,000 if our budget officer can find the money.
It was spoke of too, that exact number.
Motion's been made.
Yeah.
I'll second.
Second by all.
Sure.
Wow, got that out of her.
And thanks for using that gazebo too.
Yeah.
All the time, it really is.
Yeah. Further discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, Casey.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Just in case you thought that was really quick, we did talk about that during the budget process.
If I ask for money with the problem that we have today, we would have this going better.
What's the legal term? Oh, can we table that for the next meeting? I'm sorry. Anybody else in the public? There's another one at the end of the meeting if you would like to use it. That brings us to, wow, exactly 7:45. Motion to call the public hearing on plan development district local law.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call vote?
Councilman Brunzell.
Aye.
Councilman Khalil.
This is for the public hearing, right?
Yes, public hearing. Yeah,
Councilman
it doesn't pass that quick,
All right,
unlike money for the Legion.
I'm new.
Did you say yes?
Yeah.
Okay. Councilman Levy.
Aye.
Councilman Townsend.
Aye.
Supervisor Fry.
Aye. Public hearing stands open. Just in case anybody wonders what this is about, the planning board has been approached for a redevelopment issue over at the Woods End to put some cottages there. They've been coming to, I think, 2 or 3 meetings now. John Rouse has been working with them downstairs. The state comptroller's office wants us to have something little bit firmer in writing for what we or how we handle planned developments in the town of Inlet. And this was brought to us by the Woods End, but this begs the question that there are other areas in the town that are probably going to be looking at this. We've heard rumors that, you know, depending on if or what or how the golf course could ever sell, that they might want to do something there. There's land available. I just use that as an example. I am not stating that they are doing that at the golf course right now, but the Woods End would like to. We kind of did this a long time ago at Rocky Point, but it was a one-off for Rocky Point. This doesn't fit for them. So this is just going to be a process with us talking to the lawyers, correct? I'll have more to present, but we wanted to open the public hearing tonight, so we were starting the process. Did that cover everything we talked about at the planning board?
I think so.
Okay.
I have maps too, if anyone.
If anybody would like to see what's going on over there, it was a back and forth discussion between the planning board, myself, members of the audience, our past codes officer, who had quite a bit of experience with Rocky Point, pointing out things that, you know, could be better, might not be better, whatever. This is not part of that. The final say on that will still be the planning boards and approving the plan that they submit.
Well,
Through us,
final say.
right.
Yeah, it'll be your final say.
But you get one more, you guys get one more attempt to massage. Yes. But this is purely for, do we want to be able to have planned developments in the town of Inlet? And quite honestly, my answer to that would be yes, but that's what this public hearing is for, not to look at the full details of what they're asking for at the Woods End. Does anybody have any concerns or questions in the public and would like to be part of the record tonight? It's my intention to keep this public hearing open for at least one more meeting. So we're not closing it tonight. Hearing none, at any point during the meeting, you're still allowed, the public hearing is open, to raise your hand and say, I've thought of something. Correct? That brings us to highway then. Tag, you're it.
Okay, shoot. I have too much in here now. Okay, plowed, snow and sanded, hauled garbage and recycling, straight snowmobile trail off the side of South Shore Road, hauled snow piles from downtown area to shop, pushed off with excavator, started sweeping downtown and some roads, posted town and county roads to 6-ton limits for the spring breakup. Postings will probably last through early May. Checked roads after heavy rain and winds. Still have a couple small frozen culverts on Uncas Road. Going to replace them with larger metal culverts to take care of this issue for years to come. Worked on the new tail light brackets for 210. Took delivery of a new skid steer with bucket, snowblower, and broom. I listed the old one on Auctions International. The auctioneer recommended we list the machine separate from the attachment, so we took his advice. Auction ends on April 17th. Coming up, he's going to plow and sand, hopefully not. Haul garbage and recycling, sweep parking lots and roads. We'll have to wait to pick up sand on roads until roads are unposted. Rake Uncas Road, Evans Drive, and Gilbert Road gravel. Take snow removal equipment off of 203 and make ready to haul gravel for summer. Service trucks and equipment, have a couple of tires to change on the 210, have a plug culvert and washout in Moose River Plains that I hope we can get some gravel hauled in so it can be repaired soon. If anyone has any questions, please reach out to me anytime. And Sean felt that this is a good time for the board and himself to thank all the property owners for their use of recreational easements for snow use, and we can't thank them enough. Transfer station, want me to move right in?
Yes, please.
Transfer station, open 5 days a week, 9 to 6, closed from 12 to 1 for lunch, closed on Tuesday and Wednesday. Summer hours will begin on May 3rd. We will open 7 days a week from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m., closed from 12 to 1 daily for lunch. Please enter the building before going to outside bins. The stump dump remains closed until the road dries out. If you have any questions, please ask the attendant. They're there to assist. That's it.
What was the dates for the summer hours? May what?
May
3rd. I just want to remember that.
All right, any questions of highway or transfer? All right, Living 80K.
Good evening, Robin Hill, Living 80K. I had a request from someone in Herkimer County about resources for people who may wander off with dementia or autism or whatnot. And so I found out some information regarding Herkimer County's, their sheriff's department, and then made the call to Hamilton County's sheriff's department. And they do have a Project Lifesaver for residents who may be eligible. It is a free GPS tracking device. Qualifying residents would receive a bracelet or ankle type device. The recipient cannot live alone, so they must be living with someone else. And that the sheriff's office asks that the client's caregiver provide documentation of the qualifying cognitive or mental diagnosis. So anyone interested in that program, and it could be for adults or children, 518-548-3113. I did put a post on our page, and I did share it on the Inlet page as well. So if anybody has any questions, and I've also got Deputy O'Brien's email address. So I think that's a great resource, because we all know there's some folks out here that might be able to utilize that service. Plus, with the future of the tracking dog for the town of Webb Police Department, you know, that will also be a resource for our community here as well. The senior lunch delivery program continues to go forward and does well. I'm sure we'll get some folks who are away for the winter back on it probably this early summer. I did get another grant from the Adirondack Community Foundation Generous Acts round for $5,000, so that'll continue helping to fund this program. Additionally, our community resource navigator, Miriam, continues to dig into the Meals on Wheels programs or similar type resources for the town of Inlet. She finally got a hold of someone from the Hamilton Warren County Office of the Aging. She wasn't really helpful. They talked about a budget of limited funding for Mom's Meals program for 2 people within the entire county. That just doesn't make sense. So Miriam's digging into it more to make sure that what she's comparing available with Herkimer County is the same that is available to Hamilton, and how can we help to make that better. Miriam is retiring from her current New York State employment at the end of this month, so once she's done with that, then she's 25 to 30 hours a week with us, and can't wait for that. We are hosting a Zoom or in-person meeting on Fern Park and the next steps for the upcoming grant rounds as it relates to funding towards architectural design costs. That'll be April 21st at 1 o'clock. Living ADK, along with the IABA's Jill Marsh, are going to co-host an event early May, actually May 11th, for business owners interested in knowing more about the Center for Businesses in Transition program, which is an ANCA, Adirondack North Country Association program. It's free, confidential to business owners who are looking to plan ahead for selling their businesses. So we're hoping to, again, I think people just don't know what it really is, and they don't know how easy it is. And we're actually working with 5 or 6 business owners between here and Webb, that have been working at varying stages of this program. So it's beneficial. You don't want to wait to the last minute and not really know what your business is worth. So anybody who's interested in knowing more about that, it will be at View. I think the time will probably be 6:30ish, maybe an hour, hour and a half. And then don't forget, we have a free shredding event that we're coordinating. Don, don't close your ears, because this is going to be in town of Webb at the 201 North Street parking lot, May 16th, 10 to noon. So make sure you bring your all those tax returns that you're storing in your house, or magazines or bills or whatever you want. Bring it on down. We'll get it shredded. It's free. Okay.
Thank you. That's a lot. Thank you. Communications. Tag, Denny.
I have nothing new to share at the moment. The road is impassable at the moment
Right.
for large trucks, but we plan on meeting this month over Zoom and talk about plans for construction as soon as we can.
Very good. Have you heard anything on the 911?
Got nothing.
All right. You poke the bear down at the county for us again?
No problem.
Thank you. I know that over at the other side of the Hamilton County, things are finally moving along with a couple of the cell sites over there. Doesn't mean they've started construction, but there might be a little road work here and there or whatever, but we're trying to claw our way back into the 1990s. Planning board.
Nothing that we haven't already talked about. Both Dave and Amanda are out of town right now.
Do we have any idea when Dave's going to be back?
Dave will be back.
He's registered to go to Hotel Saranac, so he'll be back.
Actually, he'll be back. He's going to Hotel Saranac.
So he'll be
He'll
back.
be back the first week of May.
Okay.
Around that first week
Thanks for the warning.
So might be better timing to go to the next planning board meeting
Well, the next one.
Or in
will
the-
be-
in May.
I don't know if he'll be back for that one. It's the last Wednesday of April, the date that is our next one.
Squeaky wheel and all that.
Back up real quick.
Too.
This, when is access available for the tower?
When the road firms up.
I'm asking, I mean, you have an idea?
This year,
It's weather pending, so it's really.
it's all
it's
weather
hard to put a
pending.
date
If
on
we
it.
get if we get rain on top of what we've got now, it'll just push that off more and more and more.
So you want me to beat somebody over the head now, or you want?
No, what I'm looking for is the 911 numbering.
No,
No?
I thought you were looking for the tower stuff.
Tower.
Well, that too, but, is all the equipment there and ready to go up?
Yes.
Okay, so never mind. My main
The
focus,
numbering's not, the problem's not with the center, it's with Verizon, National Grid, and them we're working with.
okay, never mind.
That's the issue.
I didn't know if maybe somebody down there
No,
could help
no,
push that
no,
too. All
John's
right,
super helpful.
Well,
All right.
Alvin will be the one that actually needs to move it forward.
What's that?
Alvin needs to actually move.
Yeah, no, they're fine. Al's been great. They're good.
I'll stop
But
poking the
I'm
bear.
talking about
Right on
the,
the bull, so I mean.
the antennas and getting the equipment up there to get,
And that's a contractor, it has nothing to do with the county.
yeah,
Outside contractor.
Yeah,
so.
I was talking about the 911. I'm very frustrated with the numbering on that, but again, if it's the company's,
Yeah, no, that's not that.
sorry.
You can do that too.
Thank you.
So the last Wednesday is the 29th for the next pay.
Okay,
And David might be here for that one?
might be here for that one. All right.
Yeah, it's bad.
So it's the furnace? That is? Smell it?
What is it?
Furnace, maybe?
It is.
Amy went to check it out?
Sounds canary.
Furnace been serviced lately?
The boiler, I think it was. I do smell it.
I do smell it.
Smell it too.
We're gonna pause for 10 seconds. I'm gonna run downstairs too.
You just redid the chlorinator not long ago, but the furnace.
You know, if they just serviced that furnace, that's happened before too.
This is what they call executive session.
They're moving the cars around and the door was in.
Oh, from the cellar. That makes a little more sense.
Good job, Pat. Who's the police?
Well, we're gonna be in the meeting right there. Is anybody feeling lightheaded? Call the meeting. Where were we?
Jeez,
All right, now we gotta stop. Parks, building codes, assessor information are all attached to the agenda. Anything you want to highlight?
Well, like I mentioned, we did have that meeting with the or to talk about snowmobile trails. And during that meeting, that group, that committee decided that we are gonna keep the weekly, the 7-day permit. So we'll sell a full preseason, full season, and a 7-day, but we're gonna get rid of the weekday only.
Very good. A step in the right direction.
Yes, yeah, it was a good meeting, and.
Very productive.
We'll probably, hopefully meet again in June.
Good.
I guess the only other thing is the IABA has a subcommittee to figure out how Inlet is gonna celebrate USA's 250th birthday. Their next meeting is Wednesday from today, 6:30 PM at Up North. If anyone's interested in helping with that committee, or if you have some good ideas or whatever. They're shooting to celebrate the whole month of July, so, with all kinds of stuff.
Has the county reached out to you on their plans with the 250 and stuff like that? He was making a big statement at our last board meeting that he's reached out to the county historian. He's reached out to all.
No, but we have a meeting, Roost has a meeting.
Okay.
A county meeting, all the
Gotcha.
towns are getting together on Friday, so that'll probably be something we'll talk about.
I've got logos, badges, stickers, and stuff like that for the 250 with a nice drawing on it. And somebody pointed out at the meeting, but the county should only be celebrating 230 instead of 250, or something like that. But
Doing the counting.
huh? I don't. Yeah, I think the badge had some Indian artifacts on it. It had a cannon on it. It had because supposedly nobody knows where the cannon is, but there's supposedly one in Blue Mountain somewhere in one of the swamps that got hitched on one of the pass-throughs, but they can't. They're looking for verified information on that. Nobody's got it yet. All right. Anything else? Trails.
Well, we got most of our snow fence picked up. We got most of our drags painted. Machines are almost done, ready to be finished. Oil changes and stuff. And I've had someone that wants to buy one of our groomers.
For anybody that doesn't know, we usually try and do a 10-year rotation.
7.
Said we usually try to do a 10-year rotation. It winds up being a 7-year rotation. I think we're at 8 on this, aren't we?
No, more,
No,
it's
this is
12.
2014.
Yeah, but we got one prior.
Right.
We got one since. This is the oldest one, so
Right. So it's 14 years. That's fuzzy math.
as they got more expensive, we went from 5 years to 6 to 7 for rotation.
Correct.
Hopefully we can actually stretch it to 10.
We purchased this one for,
The new one that we have now, we purchased for $270.
right, but the one that we're,
Getting rid of?
yeah,
Bonnie found that number for
Yeah,
me.
I did. What was that? No, 2,
right. And what were we offered for this one?
210 with a drag or something.
yeah.
That was what we paid for it with the drag, and we were offered
120.
120 for a 14-year-old machine. That's a pretty good return on investment.
12-year-old.
12
Without a drag too, right?
Without a drag.
Without a drag. So
Well-
if you run the numbers here, it really is, it's not as painful as you think.
No, it isn't.
Oh, that's not bad.
No,
Um,
a new one right now is 309.
Yeah, they're up. They're willing to, and they have one available, and they're willing to take our money that we're getting on the old one
Yep.
and wait till next year for us to find a financing plan. This is where I turn to my new budget officer.
We don't have the money this year.
But we don't have, and
That's why we're putting it for next year.
that's
No,
what,
exactly.
and-
As long
and-
as you
The
can-
problem is if you don't do it this year, if you go to buy another one next year, of course, the machine's gonna.
You said it's gonna be, right.
And it's gonna go up 5%.
yeah.
And with the tariffs, that's going crazy, because they charge different for the tracks, the blade.
Yeah, I mean, if, as long as Bill,
$95,000 to us.
Pardon me?
It's $95,000 to us to trade, to sell and buy.
So it'd be another $30,000 more next year.
Yeah.
About 60-something thousand the year after.
and potentially not have a buyer to,
And potentially not have the buyer at the 120 could be.
Well, the 120 is a hell of a down payment to begin with.
If you go to trade it in right now, all you're gonna get is about 85. So at 120, that's a pretty, I don't think you're gonna get.
Pretty rare deal to not capitalize, but it is painful to do because it's just, this stuff is so much money. But I think you can extend your years as time goes on.
Well, and I know we've been questioned on, but if there's still value in them, why am I seeing them running around over in Lake Pleasant or whatever? Well, if you take a look at the equipment they used to be driving over in Lake Pleasant, I actually take a little bit of pride in being able to see our machines being repurposed over that way. They're staying in the county, they're benefiting the area, it's benefiting snowmobiling, and we're supposed to still be all about snowmobiling in the winter. It's our only big industry in the winter.
And they don't have that permit stipend help put towards it.
No,
like
they
we do.
don't.
We're trying to put back in, we get this permit stipend money.
I was-
put back in the system, so.
I was quite honestly surprised they offered the 120.
And it's already been passed. The town has already said.
They did.
Is our newer one paid for?
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
We're done with that long?
yes.
Yeah.
Actually, you're gonna be, this one's gonna cost you 10,000 less than the last one.
Month,
No,
or a year.
90 instead of,
And they're virtually identical, right?
Yeah, there's a 5 horsepower difference between them.
Yes.
All the other components are the same, it'd be nice for stocking filters, servos, whatever you.
And I know people say, do we need two? Well, you know, the nature of these beasts, unfortunately, is they never really, they're getting better as they're designed for what we use them for, but they all came off of ski hills where you were going up and down better terrain, in my opinion, not running over the rocks that we're running over.
Oh, they get rocks though.
Well, they get rocks, but not like,
I know, but just don't play ski mountains.
well, once they build up their base, you know,
Yeah.
they've got a little bit better than we do running in the woods.
So
That's part of the conversation we keep.
No, it's in regards to his,
Okay.
in regards to
Yep.
the groomer.
Okay.
Would the town, not that I can help you immediately with it, but would the town take into consideration, maybe a 1 or 2 or 3-year-old machine instead of buying brand new?
No,
find someone else's headache.
yeah, at this point in time, that would beg the question of keeping the other old one. But with the improvements they've been making in the machines and having matched equipment sitting in the shed, it just makes a lot more sense to have the matched equipment. We used to also have was it a John Deere?
Bombardier we had
Bombardier.
a New Holland too.
A New Holland. Well, we had that New Holland one where you were steering with the pan on the back of it or whatever. We tried going different, and then that would break down. The other one would break down. I think at one point that winter we wound up both of them broken down. So we try and keep matched. Yeah, but it's a good point.
So 309 is with the drag?
No drag.
No drag.
Because we're keeping our drag is in
How
quite
is
good
our
shape.
drag?
Very good.
Both our drags are good. Or do we have 3?
We have 2 and then the one that I built for the side-by-side.
And
We don't have an old beater one.
We do have an old beater one that we should put up on auctions and get rid of.
Or use that,
That hasn't been used since Carl was here.
you can't use it at the beginning of season or something.
My first year was the last year we used it, so 21, 20.
Is it usable?
21 was the last.
Is it usable? Why not use it like the first time you're out or something?
That's the one about side-by-side. And you're not running the piston boys.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
I'd rather not put hours on the piston boys if I can use side-by-side.
How many hours are on the old machine?
3,000.
3,000.
That's not a lot.
No, it's a great.
Well, they don't get used a lot. I mean,
It's a great deal for them to buy, and it's a great deal for us to.
95,000.
It's Yeah, no, I think that the offer that you had, I think that's a pretty good offer.
Timing is everything. As
I
you
think
say.
timing is
It's-
everything.
Boy, look at this.
I'll actually make the motion on that we accept the offer on the used one, and we purchase the new one with the proceeds from that, and then set up the financing. Our budget officer will work diligently with the banks to find a
Bill said he'd work with you no matter what you want to do.
I'll second that motion.
further discussion.
I personally, I'm not against a new groomer.
Right.
I just think it should be done at budget time. I think
This won't fall until next year.
I know, but I mean,
Again, the only reason this came forward is because of this gentleman coming forward on his own. Like I said, this is a timing thing. I wouldn't normally do this either. And
I wasn't even thinking about getting one.
yeah, no, I get it. I just,
You don't want you to lose a lot of money.
The precedent the set precedent we have for acting on this now is it's been an ongoing program. This isn't, we're not creating anything new here.
Right.
We're replacing as we have in the past. So I feel your pain on that
no, I'm just,
budget time. Quite honestly, I could have put something in the budget this past year, but the budget was getting tight. I thought I'd kick it off to the next budget director.
right, well, that's gonna be the problem in September when we.
But I'm not gonna, and I've got it further down on the list, but I'm still gonna be here for budget season this year. I will be staying to the end of the year.
Arguably, the income's been pretty steady though for that program. That's basically what it's based on.
And that's the other thing that is in the back of my head, as we still have a motion in a second. This is the discussion on the purchasing of it. Had we been in a world of hurt and we hadn't been able to mend fences with Webb on the permit process, that would be one thing. If we hadn't been coming off of 2 very good years, Does that mean the next 3 are gonna be great? Who knows? But
At 95, that's pretty good, and if we wait, we won't get this deal.
we won't get that deal.
It's a timing issue. It's unfortunate.
Randy's gonna buy a machine this year.
Right.
One way or another.
Right.
Whether it's this
So yeah, it'll be this one or the other one.
And this will be picked up.
Pardon me?
Picked up.
He'll come and get it. And we know it'll be delivered.
All right, does the board have any further discussion on the matter? Why don't we do a roll call vote on this, please?
Councilman Brunzel?
Aye.
Councilman Khalil?
Nay.
Councilman Levy?
Aye.
Councilman Townsend?
Aye.
And Supervisor Fry.
Aye. That's 4-1. Thank you. Thank you for doing the legwork on that.
Yeah.
Bonnie, can you look into that, what was that, website that you told me? Funding?
Yeah, I did talk to her today. Yeah.
Maybe we could get part of the payment out of that.
Yeah, I did. I talked to her a little bit about it today. That'll be next. She'll have to look at it in the summer and it'll be for next year. That's the one you were talking about, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So, Bonnie, what I'll do, I'll actually coordinate with you on this because ironically, timing wise, I'm involved in a similar purchase for a snow.
Right, yeah.
Just like you said, 309, if we had to put our order in now, take delivery next fall. So we're working on the financing, looking into options. I'll let you know.
Okay.
If you would do the same.
Yeah,
as well,
absolutely.
We can come up with, because we got a grant for partial payment and balance. We've got to figure out where to come up with and who's going to have the best rates next fall. So.
Absolutely. Great. Thank you.
We also have an issue between the caboose, the trail that cuts past the caboose, and dumping water off the state land, coming down onto the snowmobile trail, hitting the buildings there. I believe it flooded out the mountain in Maine. I believe it was impacting the wine shop. I believe it was impacting the old Tamarack, or whatever you want to call it. It was impacting the little house back in the hill. I think you've looked at it. I think DOT has been up to talk to us, and we've been allowed to tie into the drop inlet that's set back under the sidewalk. Have we had any further discussions on doing that?
I went and looked at it, it's gonna be a lot of money.
Did you have any conversations with one of the property owners while you were there?
We talked about it a little bit, but he was gonna see if he could get better pricing than what I was getting. And then it was out about it.
All right.
He's got a lot of trees he wants cut down and a lot of other things he wants over there. That's running from a private resident, not state.
Yeah, well,
Private land above that, it's not state land.
it is. I like to think it pushes up.
Of course it goes up and water comes down. It doesn't matter who owns it. The water still comes down.
But the problem is that it impacts the road eventually, and it goes into the state's drop inlets. And they've made repairs elsewhere. They're not kicking it down the road on this one, but they're finding a way to, in my opinion, to hide from it. But we know there's a crush culvert there. We know that there's issues. I don't think there's anything we can do different with ditching.
Might be able to do some ditching to get it to go into that other drop inlet that's there instead of putting two drop inlets in.
Because I know the one that's way back by the little house, I mean, the culvert sticks up at an angle and it looks crushed.
You just replacing that, that'd be better than half the price.
Right.
What kind of price you
When they did hit that culvert in there, because Todd was in there the other day, inside the culvert, and it went from a 12-inch culvert, and he ripped it in half and put a 10-inch piece of sewer pipe in there, and then put 12-inch culvert back over it again.
Yeah, so that's kind of where we have a little bit of skin in the game, that, you know, we were the ones that put this, whether we were the contractor or not, we put the sewer in. So we have to find a way. I guess I'll work back with Todd then, and you and Sean maybe if you can get better prices. I don't see us taking trees down for him though.
Yeah, because he wants to go all the way to the back of the property and catch the pipe back there. Use another catch basin, 280 feet pipe.
And there's still two slab foundations that are buried under dirt back there where there used to be houses.
You're gonna have to come right down the road, running parallel with the sewer line. Then you're gonna grab the sewer lines that are coming out of the buildings, tying in, because they're already on top of it.
Who owns the road?
Good question.
Interesting.
What kind of price are you looking at?
Use your imagination on that one.
$1,000 just in material.
Just throwing that out there.
You spend a week out there shoveling through, because you
A lot
can't
of,
rip it.
shovel.
A lot of hand
I'm not
shovel.
even sure they probably still trust in there.
Oh, I mean, you're gonna have a lot of hand shoveling, so you don't destroy anything. You're gonna spend a lot of time.
By right, I'd rather see you take part of the sidewalk out, because I'd hate to bore underneath it, because you know it's gonna settle. I'd hate to get that main, get rid of that piece of 10 inch. If I gotta do it right, you might as well do it right.
Are we really gonna bore back 280 feet from the other one?
You gotta catch the water where it's coming.
You're gonna ditch or gonna horizontal line bore? What are you talking here?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I still think there's some water coming, sneaking in from the state property that's above DiMartino's old house. Yeah, and then when they put their foundation in and put their well in, they hit an artesian, and there's water dumping off there right now. So that's where I got the state land from. All right, we'll keep working on that, but I believe we have skin in the game there that we can't kick that down the road the way the state has.
We can't just repair the culvert?
I think that's the least we would do.
Right. Put a section culvert in.
Replace where they've tied in with sewer pipe instead of having.
Right, the right
Correct.
proper size.
Correct.
That would probably help a lot.
I would think it would help more than a lot.
Who knows what else happened to that pipe, really destroyed it.
But Todd has also admitted that his building does sit low.
Well, they raised the road up also.
Correct.
Every time they pave.
Right, and we didn't do that when we put the sewer in. That road was raised up. Yeah. All right, moving on. That's it for trails. Anything else? Good job this winter?
Excellent job.
Huh? He's not retiring. I was gonna skate right past that, for crying out loud. Now, appreciate all the work that you've been doing. I appreciate the fabrication you've done up at the shop and stuff like that. And hopefully somebody learned all that.
He's got me on speed dial.
Very good. Very good. We're gonna
So
see if
do I.
we're gonna see if the dimes you make on the metal are the same size as the dimes he's been making. I know what dimes are, but I can't make them myself. But thank you, seriously. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else I'm supposed to be doing?
No, I'm sorry.
Yep, because now it's your turn.
Okay. Revenue, $24,021.61. Most of that was snowmobile permits that were entered. Actually, there's a significant amount of down payments on cottages. What's your pleasure on the estimates that Don Hale has presented? Are we going to vote on that, or for?
Would you like to tell us what they are?
She's got them right there. We can go through them one by one. I don't think we're gonna approve them all right now, but there's stuff that is in play that may have to happen, but there's something that has to happen immediately. Well, one thing that's not on there is with our new PLC controller panel. It is now gone offline, and it's not that old. I reached out to the supplier, and hopefully they'll be coming up to figure out what's going on. I can still run the plant via the laptop, so it's pretty expensive plant to be operating with the laptop. We did fix the problem before, but it just reared its head. So one of the changing to another, that's one item that's not on there. With that, I've already reached out. We can make something happen with that. I'm sure we will. We'll get the problem solved. We always do. The other thing is we're winding up into the season where we're going to need both basins. We run basins as soon as we get into the summer. Now, basin number 1 has a mixer in it that is in between your anoxic area and keeps everything moving. That is offline. We've troubleshot it, tried to find out what's going on with it. It only leads me to see that the mixer itself is shot, needs to come out. Therein lies the problem. When they put the plant together, they have stainless steel cables for recovery, slide them up the rails, but the hook on the end of it was steel. When I went to lift it out, there was no hook.
I heard that.
With that being said, there is one in there is where Kester has agreed to come up and actually pull that out and evaluate, but that's just a cost to do that. So I'm trying to get it out myself, but I'm not.
The 2,800 is the cost just to pull it out?
To pull it out and evaluate what the problem is. You know, I think the problem is in the mixer.
It needs to be replaced.
Replacement. So basically, it's going to be $2,800 plus the cost of it, and that's got to be at least $10,000.
Did Kester supply the steel?
What's that?
Did Kester supply the steel connecting point?
Actually, I wasn't here when the plant was actually built, so I don't know the answer to that, but it may be.
Are you gonna get warranty out of them or something?
No, but if they provided a fail point, you know,
Liability issue.
yeah.
Stainless, yeah.
I mean, I've tried to hook it. I mean, I can't get it, you know. I have it all rigged up to try to pull it out. I can't pull it out by the electrical cords.
No.
I mean, that one has to happen before we get
Yeah, yeah.
in the PLC, which we previously talked about. What are the other two that you got sitting there? Gave you my copy, that's why.
Right.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Submersible pump,
Submersible.
4255. Scope of work, pull existing submersible pump
Oh, okay.
at this pump out station, install.
Oh, okay, yeah, that is, we've got two, high lift, solids passing pumps in there, they're monsters. We had one rebuilt, sitting at the plant. I was over here, I have no alarm going off, but I do have a fault showing that there is a leak. So there's a seal problem on that unit, so it will probably go down, Fourth of July, that's when it seems to always happen. But that quote there is to remove that and then bring in the one that's at the plant and replace it, and then take that one out and have it refurbished. Now, the question is, if that's the one that was just put in a year ago, we have to look at the timeline on that. I'm guessing there's never any warranty for labor, so it's not a big deal.
And then there's the plug valve.
Plug valve I'm gonna let go for right now, simply because I can operate it, have automated control over it. We're going into the season when I don't need automated control on it, I can actually run it manually. I have a 36 lung pipe wrench to turn the valve. It happens to work and it's open, and it will stay open until such time as we can actually replace it. So we don't really need to spend that on that right now. There's other things that might be priority.
Where do you think our accountant would fall on the description of these? If it's not necessarily operation of the plant, if it's mechanical of the plant.
I don't think that unless it was the building, because those are gonna be more operations. I mean, I can ask, but I think that's more operations.
But I think
What are you trying to decide?
where the money comes from.
You know, it's unfortunate, we're at a position where we're into this for 13 years, and, 13 years, and, we are experiencing, you know, wear and tear.
Yep.
And we've lost some VFDs, which are the variable frequency drives, for whatever reason. Some of our power supply could be, you know, that we have trouble. It's very hard to segregate it, and stuff just does wear out the same. Now, with that being said, we've replaced some of those, but looking forward, there's some of those in there, and I've reached out to Corey at Bernier and Carr. Corey Reed, and he's gonna actually gather, we're gonna walk through the plant and take a look at it, just to see where we are as far as what our failure rates are gonna be and everything, where we might reinvest, and that we could actually look at maybe some funding grant opportunities once we get there. But the only way we can do that is to have a conversation with the engineer, and we can sit down, maybe we'll make ourselves look good to a grant operation.
He has to work on an intended use plan.
Oh, yeah.
And because we're not on that list, so we can't get anything grants from
And we need to get on the list.
EFC.
Yep.
Some of this is general wear and tear, though, it looks like to me, some of this.
Well, no, wear and tear is, yes, it's
Must have a life to some of this stuff.
I mean, you've got a lot of big motors spinning every day, some of them all day. So that there is just wear and tear. I mean, somewhere along the line, we'll start seeing elbows and pipes start to wear out because there is a lot of grit involved with this process at the same time.
You know, with these kind of repairs, I mean, I've been trying to build up the maintenance budget each year in the budget, hoping that we could get to the payoff spot on the plant, but there's no way we're hitting that. 20 years, I think.
20 years.
Well,
I mean, I'm not saying we're gonna go upside down right away, but I do have some stuff that has to be addressed so we can continue to move forward.
Right, and it has to be done. So you're probably looking at an impact, for those sitting in the audience that might be in the sewer district, of anywhere from $100 to $200 more on your bill if we're replacing some of these things that need to be replaced.
Just to make sure I can get through this summer, it's gonna cost you 10 grand.
You don't have that kind of cushion.
No, not that kind of cushion. I got about a third to half of that cushion, because there's still yearly stuff that has to be done that was just normal maintenance. There was no provision allowed when we secured the funding for any kind of capital improvements, you know, to put some aside. You know, we asked, and they said, no, they don't hand you future money.
Maybe the EDU count should have been higher taxed at this operating.
I tried raising that EDU count a couple of different times, and you know, the biggest water user in the district is the town of Inlet. And between the cottages, this building, the library, and that bathhouse, they're already paying about half the district's weight. So, you know, that to try and put any more weight either way, you know, we tried to keep it down for the commercial users so that we could try and get commercial users in here, but it's gonna affect the residential, the commercial, and the town. If we were a village, you could charge everybody whether they were on it or not. But this is just a sewer district, but this work has to be done. So I think I need a motion to approve this. We may have to dip into the contingency, loan that to the sewer district until such time as the sewer district's billing can replace that.
Yeah, they'll have to pay it back with interest, unfortunately.
When does that bill, July?
Yeah, I usually send those bills out in late June.
There are some other things that need to be day-to-day operation stuff, like UV2s, that's $1,500 or $1,600 they have to be replaced before we go into season. There's no wiggle room on that, we have to have them. I normally just buy them. Since I'm sitting here, I guess I might as well tell you what I'm doing.
The sewer account right now is still flush, though, correct? Yeah, so. when
Flush,
I do
pun
get a-
intended. Oh, good job. I had to throw that out there. That'll lighten you up.
Try to hope nobody was gonna catch that as soon as I said it. Normally I do that on purpose, but not here. My point being is we don't have to dip into the contingency fund probably until, we may not even have to if the money starts coming in. But that's what the contingency fund is there for.
Yeah, we're still okay.
Okay, so guess we're looking at a motion to pay that $28.30 unless you can dig it out. I would like that motion to be there if you can't get that out.
I'm gonna try pretty hard.
Right, but you know,
But I can't try forever, I have to get it done, because I need that come June, it has to be up and running.
did I hear you are a qualified diver? Did I hear somebody say that behind you?
Good old Chip. Good old Chip, looking out for everybody.
Isn't Chip a qualified diver?
got me mistaken with someone.
She got a dive buddy right there.
Yeah, you know, somewhere in between
Sure,
zero
yeah.
and a $2,800 is a,
Yeah, exactly.
all right, that I did do on purpose. I'm looking for a motion to approve the 30th needed and the 4255 for the pump here.
Yes, that really should be done before we get into the season.
And you said we can wait on the
The plug valve.
plug valve. And you're gonna make sure that the control panel's operational again.
John moved that.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second that.
All right.
In that order that you.
Further
that you read.
discussion? Hearing none, all in favor on this?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Thank you, sir. Thank you for the work up there.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for keeping us clean. What did I say before everybody got here? Build a sewer plant, they said. It'd be fun, they said.
I just try to keep you guys out of jail, that's all.
It has given benefit to the town, though. We do have more locations that could be restaurants. We need more people to open some of those that aren't open right now.
Yeah.
Anybody?
We're
Getting ready.
Expansion.
What's that?
We can handle the expansion.
Okay. And that was good to hear that the expansion that they're talking over at the Woods End, you feel confident
We can handle it.
we can handle it. And that includes putting the main build hotel on that plant.
Yes. Yeah. But
Very-
they're gonna own the pump station. We are not gonna own the pump station.
That's beautiful. All right.
Okay, I got two more things that might actually help with.
Oh yeah,
all
we're
that.
still under you, huh?
Yeah.
How come I got to take all
I'm
of that?
sorry.
You guys-
Community,
Nothing else from me, I'm gonna jet.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Don.
Thank you.
Community Bank would like to do a presentation to the board on, they have quite a bit of products available to the government now, such as like merchant credit card processing. We could switch from Square, which is not a local bank, obviously, to a community bank, the community bank. And they do offer even, they have loans, like if you know you've been awarded a grant but you got to get the project moving forward, they can loan, it's almost like a bridge loan,
Carry it.
and
Yeah.
carry that just based on the approval of a grant. So she wants to do a presentation. Leslie and another rep from her bank would like to come one of our board meetings and do a presentation. Does anybody have an objection to me telling her in whatever meeting works? Okay.
We could even schedule that if we wanted to, while we're doing bill paying
Bill
or
paying?
something like that.
Yeah.
Okay,
And, members of the public, can still sit here while we pay bills.
okay, great.
But it's just a presentation. We wouldn't be making any
No,
decisions.
yeah. And the other thing I wanted to mention was Cliff and I were working on looking at different money through different congresswomen and so on and so forth available. And we found this grant. It's a project funding, community project funding grant through Congresswoman Stefanik. So I applied for it, and I guess I got a little bit of kickback that I probably shouldn't have applied for it, but I didn't sign anybody's name. I signed my name to it. I applied for it for $990,000 for any municipal building updates. And the response was, Yvonne, I am pleased to let you know that Congresswoman Stefanik has selected your project, municipal building update, for inclusion in our FY 2027 appropriations bill. This is the first step in the process, and our office will keep you updated on the progress as it moves forward. However, the next step of this project is to mark up the House Appropriations Subcommittee on Agriculture, Rural Development, Food, and Drug Administration. So I guess it's, but it says your selection, your project has been selected, and it's from a district director from Congresswoman Elise Stefanik. It's through the USDA, because we're a rural area, they'll fund our municipal building projects.
That's where we got the sewer money. That's where the money came from for the dock at the Woods End.
Oh,
I think this building way back years ago came from.
Way back.
yeah.
I believe
So we're thinking like the roof, work at the post office, work in the building here with windows, the roof.
Small garage.
Yeah. You're leaving. Be quiet. Yeah, whatever improvements
Yep.
needed to be done
Yep.
for it. So I called Port Leiden because they had gotten this in 2026 to ask,
Did it
Is
happen?
this for real? Yeah, does it? And they said, yes, absolutely. It wasn't even.
So this
really that
isn't
much.
just first off, it's gonna go to committee, nope, sorry, you didn't make it through the committee.
Well, they said no. They said they got it because that's what I was afraid of, is that
Yeah.
it was going to be like, oh yeah, you were selected, and oh, but we didn't get the money, you know? Yeah, exactly. So, Port Leiden and Herkimer both said that they received all the funding, and there wasn't even a lot of hoops to jump through. So.
Well, thank you for applying for that. Yeah, that's pretty impressive. Quite
So I was
impressive.
happy with that. So that's it.
Hold the applause until the check comes in. Boy, the new budget officer is gonna get a swelled head on this, I tell you. Good job.
Thank you.
Is that it?
Yes, I'm done.
All right, I had been asked at, I believe, the last meeting, or maybe it was the meeting before. Julie, when did you ask me when I was gonna stay? Was that last meeting? Yeah, I'm staying till the end of the year. You're stuck with me.
Thanks for the warning.
Yeah. I gave them the same news over at the county, and they're actually, with my retirement pending and the 3 others not running for reelection, there's going to be a sea change over at the county, and they're actually, budget-wise over there, they're a little worried about that. But I was finance officer and budget officer over there for over 12 years. Their budget is a lot more complex than ours, but yeah, got me for one more budget, even though I'm not budget officer.
We'll work together.
Yeah, we'll work together on that. Recreational easement wording, I believe, is still with the attorney, unfortunately.
Well, he's given a response on how he thinks it should word and everything. It's just, I think, how we want to compensate year-round usage. I think is what we need to get back to him with, and then he'll word that in. But he did come up with some changes, and it wasn't really anything major other than that we have to recognize Hannah Schoen's property does not want to be used during hunting.
Which shouldn't be hard to do that. I don't want this to slide past budget season. I know we signed checks tonight for the recreational easements. So I think one of the first things we sit down at budget season is to have a workshop on how we're going to do that, because we do have to have a little bit more tiered structure on those that are allowing mountain biking, snowmobiling, cross country, the whole gambit.
Well, I think that a few of the property owners are hoping to get extra compensation this year or next year. Yeah, I know, but
We can still talk about that at budget time. We can
Yeah.
still come out of budget time and make an amendment to this year's budget if the money is there. If the money is there. Library, post office, building concerns, we did reach out to a local engineer.
Yeah, I reached out to Jim, and then I caught up with Mike and Tim. I saw you, and he looked at that and said he can facilitate something for us.
Very good.
So we didn't say it was immediate, but he said it will need attention soon. So
Has he been down to look at it at all?
we actually did looked at it that day.
That day?
Yeah, did a site review downstairs, upstairs, and he said, if you want, just give me a soft yes, and we'll tell him to get us to draw something up.
did he think it needed that though?
No, he just said if you want something in drawing, he'll do it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? He if you want a recommendation from him, you know what I mean? It's
gotta be dealt with though.
Has to be dealt
You'd
with.
agree.
Right, the underpinnings that need work, at least.
Or if you were gonna fill it with something, you know what I mean, whether he recommended sand or something that's very, very low cost, you know what I mean, minimal.
Stamp it on there and put it on the
So,
sidewalk, yeah.
Yeah, and maybe even frame in the door with treated or lay blocks in there or something, you know, the doorway that accesses it from the inside. So made suggestions, and then at a later date, when you do pour the new ramp floor there, it won't affect, you know what I mean? It can,
Gotcha.
Other than that'll be an inconvenience to the contractor for the access with a portable ramp or something, but that'll be a later date.
The thing we didn't know, we kind of discussed was, the grade for wheelchair access.
Yeah, I don't know what that percent grade is if you
have to comply.
Well, and that's always been my concern.
Is it an emergency repair that you can get around that, or, because you look at the way the road is, it's kind of limited what you're gonna slope there.
I don't know what percent grade is.
It'd be tough to
and
change it.
accessible. I don't know off the top of my head. Do you, anybody here know?
You have to talk to John Rouse, right?
Yeah, he could probably
Yes,
talk it up.
John has those numbers.
You know, if we're out of compliance now, as long as we're out of compliance.
2%?
2%?
All right, well, we're on the process.
Okay.
All right, we are going to have an executive session after this meeting, but I'll put that towards the end. Public comment? Anybody marinating on anything all meeting long?
Just a reminder that Mohawk Valley Health System Primary Care now has an active ultrasound machine. It started yesterday. They had people coming already yesterday, a couple today. So, and it's not, again, you don't have to be a Mohawk Valley Health System patient. You can be anybody with any doctor's order. You just gotta call central scheduling to make the appointment. But I think they're getting travel people who can't get it done elsewhere quicker, so they're coming up here. It doesn't matter. It's available, and it shows that it's being used.
That's good.
Great.
It was nice of, I'm gathering Mohawk Valley is doing the billing back on that to any of the providers that are
Right.
sending script or whatever, so.
Yeah.
It's making use of that, it's there, so why wouldn't they let anybody else in?
Right.
Yeah, perfect. Anything else?
I just wanted to piggyback on what you had said. It was a great winter. I spent a lot of time working at Screaming Eagle. Got to talk to a lot of snowmobilers, and I heard over and over and over again that this was the best the trails have ever been, that they're just thrilled, especially the Moose River Plains. So I just wanted to, and obviously them being happy helped us all out. And but I heard so many compliments this year, so I wanted to pass that along to these gentlemen because I heard they did a great job.
See, you can't leave. All right.
I was the one grooming the Moose River.
Yeah.
Well, we won't even talk, you can't leave. All right, thank you, Julie. Yep.
Yep, and just to follow up on that, John Khalil, ADK Snowmobile Advocates, just want to take a minute and acknowledge and thank the town board, town clerk, the tourism office, police department, highway department, trails department, Inlet Volunteer Emergency Services, the Barnstormer Snowmobile Club, and landowners, of course. Great season, second season in a row for both town, Webb, and Inlet, where we had no trail-related fatalities. So that's huge.
It is.
And what we've seen, obviously, the transformation the past couple of years, much greater sense of a community amongst the snowmobilers. Depending on when you look at the permit numbers, total sales, whether you look at it on a fiscal year or on a season basis, you've got people anywhere from 12,000 to 15,000 people that are operating on these trails throughout the season. I mean, just tremendous volume in the area, and to have the kind of communication that everybody has that's being facilitated and open dialogue has just been great. And again, just want to thank everybody and make sure everybody was properly acknowledged tonight. Thank you.
Well, I think some pat on the back goes back to you too for facilitating some of the conversations that happened last year and moving into this year. So it's all good. Thank you. All right, anything from the public hearing? Anybody have any comments? I'm not closing it. I'm just asking if there's any else before we pay bills and then kick you out for the executive session. Motion to pay highway as presented earlier tonight.
So moved.
Second that.
Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? So carried unanimously. Motion to pay general and sewer as presented earlier tonight. Offered in second. Discussion? Hearing any? None? All in favor?
Aye.
So carried unanimously. Motion to go into executive session.
I'll second that.
All right, folks, we stand in executive session. I thank you for coming tonight. Mr. Khalil, please